Father Marko Rupnik is a Slovenian Jesuit priest and renowned artist known for his mosaics all over the Catholic Church and featured in many prominent churches worldwide. Now, Rupnik has been accused of spiritual and sexual abuse by multiple women, with allegations dating back decades. There's been a considerable amount of controversy surrounding Rupnik, and especially how the church has handled his case. And even now, the Vatican has dragged its feet in its canonical investigation of his alleged crimes. In fact, I've been very critical of the Vatican on this very point. I've repeatedly asked why Rupnik's investigation has taken so long. But is that about to change? The head of the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith, Cardinal Cardinal Fernandez, is now saying that judges are being appointed for Rupnik's case. Crux points out that Vatican Doctrine Czar says judges are being appointed for the Rupnik case. Nearly 2 years after lifting a statute of limitations to allow a canonical procedure to begin against Slovene Father Marko Rupnik, the Vatican's doctrine chief says the case is progressing and judges are finally being appointed. To which I think we're all saying, finally, it's about time. While the case involving Rupnik, a former Jesuit and famed artist accused of sexually abusing around 40 adult women, is reserved and detailed information is unavailable, Cardinal Fernandez said the relevant information has been collected and studied. Fernandez, prefect of the Vatican's dicastery for the doctrine of the faith, which is overseeing the Rupnik case, said his department did the study and it gathered all of the information because it wasn't easy to gather everything here and from there, everywhere, but it gathered it, organized it, read it, did all the work, and now it must create a tribunal for the process. So I guess this is one of the reasons why they're saying it has taken so long. Evidently, they're saying there's just been so many allegations, so much information that they had to examine. He says, now we must find judges. We've made a list, he said, saying they require judges with certain characteristics for something so mediatic. It goes on to note, the Rupnik case has dominated church headlines since allegations against the famed artist, one of the church's most prolific and sought-after muralists, whose work decorates shrines and chapels all around the world, including the Vatican, for the past 2 years after allegations went public. After the DDF initially refused to waive a statute of limitations allowing a canonical procedure against Rupnik, the Pope personally waived it in October 2023, with top officials in the department's disciplinary section, which handles cases of clerical abuse, saying nearly a year ago that the inquiry was in advanced stages. In fact, we covered that right here on the show. And so we thought, okay, well, if it's in its advanced stages, surely we're about to see a trial. But the Vatican continued to drag its feet. Fernandez told journalists Friday that he believes they have found judges to evaluate the case, usually consisting of a panel of 3, but some are unsure and need time to think about it before saying yes or no to what is arguably one of the DDF's most sensitive and high-profile current tasks. The judges approached, Fernandez said, are external to the DDF and must do their work and conclude. He did not indicate how many judges have already accepted the task, or when their work will conclude and when a verdict might be expected. Asked about a study launched at his request to clearly define the crime of spiritual abuse, a document that we actually covered right here on this channel, and codify it in canon law, Fernandez said the study is ongoing, but it's unlikely to be applied to the Rupnik case, which is a mic drop moment and not a good one. I thought surely they would apply that to the Rupnik case. If the point of spiritual abuse and having a canonical penalty against spiritual abuse applies to anyone, it seems it would apply to this particular case. So it's very disappointing to see this. He says one of the most disturbing aspects of Rupnik's alleged abuse is the assertion that he used false mystical visions and spiritual symbols to justify his abuse and style it as a mystical experience, drawing him and the women he alleged abused closer to God, which is exactly why the canonical penalty should be applied to his particular case if the allegations are true. So it's very disappointing, again, to see them saying it's unlikely to be applied to his case. Why? The question now is, why? Why not? Fernandez said Friday he asked that a study be done to definitively clarify a canonical crime of spiritual abuse containing these elements, but I don't know how much time it will take because I'm not doing it. Others are doing it, especially in legislative texts, because it's their task, he said, referring to the Vatican department tasked with overseeing church law. This department accepted the task and they saw that there was a need to do this work, and I see that they have put a lot of passion into this work. They are convinced that they need to do it well. When they will finish, I don't know. Okay, so that's what we know so far. So a little bit of development to the story. Sounds like the investigation part over. They're now just selecting judges. They're going through that process. After that, there will be a trial. We don't have a date yet, but I'm hoping it will be sooner rather than later, and that there will finally be some resolution to this massive controversy that has been going on for so long and has scandalized quite a few people. This needs to come to an end, and I hope we're about to find out what that end is. If you want to stay up to date with this situation and many others, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and the like button for me. We'll see you later. Hey, have you been benefiting from this channel but you're not supporting it?
You're definitely guilty.
Get over to patreon.com/Reason and Theology and support this channel if you've been benefiting from the content.
Did I say get it done now?
I mean right now!
And if you can't support the show financially, you should at least be subscribed, right? Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, I think he's right.
I'm right. So go and hit the subscribe button right now.